High school hoops in downtown Nashville tonight, but this regular season game between Pearl-Cohn and Father Ryan was anything but ordinary. News Channel 5's Chris Cannon was at the game, and it was truly history in the making tonight at Municipal Auditorium.
Jessica, the two teams have played there before. 50 years ago, it was known as Pearl High School, and students from both schools took to the court in the middle of the civil rights movement in a game that would break barriers.
It was 50 years ago, January 4th, 1965.
So much can change in 50 years.
The first athletic event between an African-American school and a predominantly white school.
These men witnessed those changes, many of which started on this very basketball court in January of 1965.
But it wasn't a black and white thing. It was a game. It was a big, big game.
Father Ryan and Pearl High Schools faced off on the hardwood in a game that would change the South.
It was a coming together of the races, and everybody was obviously curious, interested, anxious about whether it was going to go well.
The two teams played to a crowd of more than 8,500 people. It was the first ever sporting event in the South between an integrated team and an all-African American team.
I was a point guard. This is me on the far left in the back row.
Ken Crump was one of the first players to integrate the Father Ryan team.
I don't think anybody on the team realized, beyond the state of Tennessee, the historic significance of Father Ryan playing, Pearl.
50 years later, the two teams are back on the hardwood. So much time has passed since the last matchup, yet so many things are still the same.
Back then, they looked at it as a game, but it was a lot more than that. They didn't realize it until now. And now we have to take that chance and do a lot more than what they did to just set the record straight.
All these years later, there are still lessons to be learned.
I hope they take away the sense of excellence and sense of cooperation.
Because there are so many more changes that can still come off of this court.
And many of the coaches from the 1965 game were also on hand tonight. Tonight's matchup top off a day-long commemoration of the game. Now, Ken Dempsey there, who you saw in the story, hit the winning shot at the buzzer 50 years ago, leading Father Ryan to a victory on that game 51-52. Tonight, the score was a little bit different. Jessica, Steve will have highlights of the game coming up in sports.
All right, awesome story. Thanks, Chris. Well, the TSSAA was the first state high school sporting association in the South to integrate without being forced to do so.